Is evolution true? Oh my goodness! Why would we be jumping into such controversial topics like that here in the Garage Bible Study? By the way, hi, my name is Brian. Welcome to my Garage Bible Study. What is a guy inside of a garage who wrenches on his own mechanical situation? What does he have to say or know about evolution? What does the Bible have to say or know about it? Well, hopefully we're going to help you out here in the next several minutes. Why don't we just go ahead and start at the very beginning of the Bible, Genesis chapter 1, verse 1. Here's what it says. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth was without form and void, and darkness was over the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God was hovering over the face of the waters. I know there's people right now who are hyper pro-science, and anytime somebody talks something that's against scientific conviction or your belief scientific fact, you just kind of get all upset. And I know there's people in here who are hyper Bible, and anytime something goes against your teaching of the Bible, what someone taught you, which might have been something like the earth is 6,000 years old and created in 6 little 24-hour days, our defenses go up. It's like we become like the Batmobile, right? We're like armoring up because we don't want to hear at all. Well, I'm going to actually sidestep much of that today because I don't believe Genesis chapter 1 falls in either one of those camps. Either one of those camps may be 100% true, but Genesis 1, I don't think, speaks to it. Let's just let the Bible speak for itself. In the beginning, God. That's what it says. In the beginning, God. This passage is about God. That's what's about, God. It's not about solving the mysteries of the cosmos. It's not about understanding where dinosaurs fit into the biblical record. It's about God. In the beginning, God. Because He's always been in the beginning. And what He did is He created the heavens and earth. Now, what's interesting about this word created here is this is the word in Hebrew, the word bara, which can mean creation out of nothing, but it also can mean redemption. It's the same word that's used in the Old Testament when it's talked about rebuilding the city of Jerusalem. Bara, rebuild, redeem, create. I actually think what's happening right here in Genesis 1 isn't the account of the very first time that the elements were called into being here on the planet in which we live. I believe this is actually a redemption of the elements that are here. This is a reformatting of the elements that are already here. If you notice here, it says the Spirit of God was hovering over the face of the waters. Wait a minute, hovering over the face of the waters, the days haven't even started yet. These supposed literal 24-hour days, 7 days, on the first day this, on the second day this, those days haven't even started. Water comes pretty soon, but water is here before the days started. This tells me that the elements are already here and God comes in and He reformats them. He redeems them. How might this tie in? Maybe before Genesis 1. Maybe it was before Genesis 1 was however God called the cosmos and how God called the earth into being. Maybe before the Genesis 1 record, that's when all the dinosaurs were. Maybe that's when it was. Maybe these are 24-hour literal days that happened sometime after the Big Bang and everything else. Maybe they're not 24-hour literal days. Maybe they're epochs of time. The great theologian Augustine, who lived around 400 AD, he said that we don't have to take these 24 days as literal 24-hour time periods. Now, it was hundreds of years later that Darwin came along and the origin of species and the idea of evolution. Augustine didn't say this as a way to skirt around the biblical record and what science says and try to make them mesh together. He just said, linguistically, literally, you could take this as a long period of time because it sort of reads that way. Another reason why you might not want to see these as 24-hour literal days is on day 4, it says this, and God made the lights, this is in verse 16, and God made the lights, the greater lights to rule the day, and the lesser lights to rule the night, and the stars. And God said to them in the expanse of the heavens to give light on the earth to rule over the day and over the night, to separate the light from the darkness. And God saw that it was good. And there was evening and there was morning on the fourth day. So it's not until the fourth day that God reorders or creates or recreates, whatever adjective you want right now, or whatever verb you want right now. It's not until day 4 that the way we would even know that a day existed is actually even created. We know a day exists because there's a great light in the sky that comes up. It's the sun. And then the great light goes down and we see other lights in the sky, moon and stars. The way we track a 24-hour period of time doesn't come around until day 4. So how do we even know what day 1, day 2, day 3 is? Is God sitting there with the stopwatch going click? Okay, 24 hours? Okay, good. I'll do day 2 now. Click. Okay, 24 hours. Okay, I'll do day 3 now. I don't personally think so. I don't think Genesis 1 I don't think it competes with science, and I don't think it's meant to give us a record of what happened to create the earth. I don't think that was ever the original intention. In the book of Psalms, it says that God has established the foundations of the earth. The earth is rooted, it's centered. What does that mean? Is that the Bible saying that the earth doesn't move? Is that the Bible already in conflict with science and truth, which is that the earth is rotating and revolving at all time around the sun? No, it's a poetic device. This may very well be a poetic device to talk about the main thing that God wants to talk about here in this chapter, which, by the way, is the main thing in the entire Bible. And that is redemption. That is recreation. That's what God does, you know. He takes the mess of our lives and he reformats it and he redeems it. We bring to him our brokenness, we bring to him our problems, and he does something with it and he gives it back to us. He redeems it. He doesn't waste anything. He doesn't make us ignore the pains in the past. He doesn't erase our memory of it. He doesn't make it like it never happened. He takes it and he redeems, he restores it, and he gives it back. This is the message of the entire Bible. And I think it's important to see in the very first message of the Bible, we see the main message of the Bible. We don't see all that much about creation ever again in the scriptures. But we do see redemption again and again, because that is the main point, I believe, of Genesis 1. And I believe that's what the text believes of Genesis 1 as well. This means that no matter how messy your life is, you're not solving a lot to figure out, how did this happen? Does God let bad things happen to good people? Why does God let bad things happen to good people? Does God instigate the pain in my life? There's a place for those questions. Those questions are all very, very important. But the pain is with us. The divorce is with us. The bankruptcy is with us. The cancer is with us. The broken relationships are with us. The suicide of our friend is with us. Better to say, with those things, how does God redeem those things? How does God give me another chance? How does God enable that to contribute to my spiritual weightiness, if you will? You know, the glory of the Lord, glory is the word in Hebrew which means kabod. It's weightiness. God is weighty. He is the most dense thing that's ever been. And what we know in science is that the most dense thing is the center and everything else revolves around it. That's what gravitas is. The most spiritually dense people, not stupid, but just spiritual people, have substance and depth about them and girth about them and weightiness about them, are not those who've been to seminary. It's been those who've maybe been to seminary but have had significant pain in their life. It's when you have pain and you have difficulty and you allow God to take you through the keyhole of pain. You allow the coal to be compressed to create a diamond. It's those folks who have this gravitas, this gloriousness about them. And that's our planet that we're in. The gloriousness of our planet, and that's your life. You are a work of God who God never gives up on, and he's always recreating and redeeming. That's good news for today.